hydrants too, Bill.
Yeah, I meant to, but it was raining and we didn't get around to it. Forgot we was looking for hydrants too, cause we're
I
out
counted
of
13 on this side of the highway and 7 down below. Just quickly.
Well, those hydrants are gonna be another problem,
the,
because none of
They
the
need to be
hydrants
addressed.
in town, not one single hydrant in this town has a gate belt on it. So if we have to use a hydrant, no matter in which quadrant of town, those people are gonna be totally out of water.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
I know,
well, there,
but it's the same way with the line, the water lines and the sewer lines. I was just telling Jerry that it's just, it's such a mess, I just shake my head, I couldn't believe it. I don't know.
I have to put on the next month's agenda to do this. Cause we need to go up there and look at
Because they
tests.
probably won't.
We need a report.
If they're
We
looking
need a
at tests,
report.
We need a copy of it,
Yeah.
For the what?
the fire hydrant,
We need a report.
next meeting.
I have a state report.
Do you? Do you
Yes.
have a report from the
When-
fire
When did you
Department?
get it?
on what's been tested and what hasn't?
That's what the state report is for.
When did you get it?
And is it up to date?
I haven't really looked at it closely, I kind of
Well, these are the
flipped
road-
through it,
roads,
but,
isn't it?
no.
When did you get it? When did you get it? We were asking about it numerous times, and
Just
nobody had one.
after the last council meeting,
Okay. And when was it taken?
just this past year, I think.
When?
Well, I'm not sure of the date, because I really didn't look at it that close, but, and I haven't had time, because I've looked at other crap since then.
Is it a lengthy report or is it something you could make copies and
I could
share?
bring it down and have Brenda make copies of it, yeah. It's pretty thick, but I could bring it down and have Brenda make copies. Okay, let's go ahead and, open that special meeting.
Is Nate not gonna be here?
Probably not, because he doesn't usually get home till about 7:30,
Why didn't we start at 7:30?
because Brenda didn't want to be here till 8:30 or 9.
So we could record them.
So we're looking at the, review and, make some dates for planning meetings in the future, and the review for bids for the street work.
I'd like to make a suggestion on the street work. Not to go any further right now than the edge of Montana, because Montana's fairly passable street. And it should go up through the intersection with, Missouri, right almost to your garage. It should go past there rather than have the pavement in right on the edge. And it should only go to. the edge of
Start at Montana Street and go straight up to, Mine
Just-
Spur.
Just past Mine Spur,
Okay, because just past Mine Spur is a dirt road.
yeah. But you don't wanna end it right there and have a drop off. And I have to agree that I did think that that was the rattiest street in town.
It is.
Followed closely by School Street, or,
Well, I've been
not
up and down
school,
School Street several times, and it's
this
not
other
near
one.
as bad as
not,
Missouri
not
or
School Street, this,
Mine Spur Loop.
the little street
The
there
North
in front of
Street,
the
yeah,
green, yeah.
That can be filled and overlaid and just,
North
you know.
Street's good. The green, in my opinion, is passable. No fire store on getting that. Yellow is not good, or.
Needs
and
to
the
be
red is
addressed.
ugly.
Yellow needs to be
Yeah.
addressed, Bill?
Purple's not.
Yellow needs to be addressed?
It'd have to be after those little red sections, and this red section here is at the, where the sewer was dug up. Where this one was dug up and,
There's 3 street cuts that we need to fix.
yeah,
One on First Street, one on East River, and one on West River.
First
Then we-
Avenue, not First Street.
Well, First Avenue. And then one on West River, just up on the corner here.
Yeah.
But then we need to look at possibly getting some funds put away for the next year and get
There's,
west of the bridge on West River, get that taken care of.
there's another, question. if we go ahead and fix this, do we have money left available if the school decides to free up some money to go ahead and do this as a project?
I think we can find it.
Because they are going to discuss.
The
trying to
thing
get
with
it
School
done this
Street,
fall.
For those for those of you who have attended regularly every council meeting, and Jerry can attest to this, the streets that were discussed the most for repair were Missouri and Carbon. And that's what that money was set aside for when the council passed the resolution strictly, and those were the streets that we discussed. Now, we will have some monies left in capital assets that we can move to get some of the other smaller streets done. I've talked to Jeremy. He thinks that he can go up on Mine Spur Loop North and kind of repair that with the fill and overlay. Let's see what else. But the Kids Corner just came, or the Kids Court just came up last year, and Mike brought that up at a council meeting simply because somebody had been talking to him, and he said that he had made a deal with the school where they had put in some of the funds to do that. But as I've talked to Julie Jones and a couple other people at school, and they are not planning on doing that. That property belongs to the school district, and it is their responsibility to fix it.
Fix the parking lot.
Not the road,
Not the
No,
road.
the kids' court.
right, but not the
Parking
road
lot.
that's
No, but we
adjacent to
can,
it.
but we can fix that north
That's
road
why
that
we're
comes in front
talking
of the
about
school.
combining them in one project. They would pay for their square footage on that,
Right,
we'd pay for the square
and
footage.
Julie said that
here.
we could probably talk to them, and I don't know when they
They
set
are
their
going to
budget.
discuss that.
Are they? At the school
She's
meeting?
been talking to Terry about it.
Okay,
There's
So
possibility
we
we
should
might get
probably
it done this year.
Figure that, oh, this year? I was thinking next
This
spring.
fall. No. See if they could free any money.
That
This-
might be a little soon for us.
Yeah, the spring spending the school does is what you call panic spending.
Yeah,
We have this much money
you
left,
gotta spend it
We
or you
gotta
won't
spend
get
it.
it next year.
yeah.
you can't squirrel it, you got to spend it, or you don't get it. You have to
Well,
use
right
up
now
your
in
budget.
Roden Street, we have allocated $49,000. That includes the tax, the gas and oil production tax, what we had left in the oil tax from last budget, and then we moved that 40,000 from capital assets into Roden Street. We can also move later on, if we want to, we'll have to do it at a meeting with a resolution. In the public safety, there's $862 that we can move from the police department, public safety into that. And we also have a little bit of money left in the capital assets fund, the sale of capital assets, that we can move some monies in. I would like to keep monies aside and add to that in a special restricted fund so
Right.
that we can build that money up and start getting more and more projects, especially streets.
I would
because-
like, I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Because, you know, at the last session, you brought up, promotion of the
This-
town. Well, unless you
this
have good
shows-
infrastructure, you
Right.
cannot promote.
That's right.
And we need to do that.
That's right.
We have the Clarksburg
But you
River, we
notice
can
that it
promote, but
came
we have, what kind of
Yes.
access do we have to that?
To the highway.
We also have fiber optics in the town
Railroad-
that could
railroad
draw
went up to the
high-tech
bridge.
company or,
Where
you know,
the-
small business even.
Cares.
If we could get somebody to put a
150
Starbucks
feet,
on the
so is
highway, that would,
railroad responsible
you know,
for that?
people, there's a lot of things that we could
But you,
do.
you gotta understand, you realize it, I'm sure, that people don't invest in towns that they feel are melting away.
Well, there
And our
again,
This
streets
street-
are,
yes, they are. They
an
are
embarrassment.
horrid. Yes, they are. They are.
to anybody that drives in through our town, goes up to the school to a game if their kids are playing from out of town or anything.
Well, School
they
Street needs some
realize that-
repairs, but it's not horrible.
It's not the only one. I
But
mean, there's
every street
six
in
streets in
town.
town that are
Right.
badly
School
in need
Street
of
itself
repair.
is the thoroughfare up through, it's not too bad.
No, it's not. There's a few spots there that we
It's
need
the small
to
one in front
repair.
of the school,
But, and
plus the
then
parking
we
lot.
have other streets that, Mine Spur Loop all the way from Carbon up to the school. There are repairs that need to be done there.
The worst part of mine spurs from the bridge up.
Right,
Yeah,
and
The rest
then
of it
West River
is
is in horrible
not
shape
bad.
beyond the bridge.
yeah.
So we need to look at those.
It's
So,
in worse shape. up
Mayor,
there.
let me ask you this, the funds that we set aside for this project that we're gonna vote on tonight
Mhm.
are sizable. I mean, that's a big chunk of change for a small
It
community.
is, it is.
And I commend you and whoever was involved with putting these funds aside. What my question is can we do this year after year until we get this town in
We
good order?
can if we start putting money every month into a restricted fund.
Is that how we got the 45?
No, no.
Okay, so how did we get the 45? Can we duplicate that?
I think that we could probably come pretty darn close.
Okay? That's great news.
I think if we look at the budget seriously, and what I'm looking at,
Start
because
making some serious,
making some serious plans.
yes.
This is what I look at. This is from the state,
Right.
when I do the budget.
Mm-hmm.
That's, I mean, and it is extensive and it is mind-boggling,
Right.
what they expect. The other things that I look at, and I'm sorry I didn't bring that with me, is the printout for the, up to, from the first of the year up to the following year's budget. And I have a stack like that thick, that I have redlined so many things in there, that we could have saved a lot of money before now. And I think if we work together, get our collective heads together, really study the budget, study what we can do, what we can't, I think we can come
And
up
isn't
with.
that our job?
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Right, so, you know, we need to actually look at those. I don't know how many of you have actually gotten those and looked at it closely.
I haven't had a chance to get into it yet.
And I realize that everybody works. Bill works, you work, Tim works. I have time, so I can piddle and go through there and write questions and, you know, bring them to the council if we need to. But I think we really need to seriously look at some of these problems and figure out a way to get them taken care of. There's got to be a reasonable solution out there, and I think if we, like I said, get our heads together, I think we can do it. I really believe that we can get this
Here's
going.
my suggestion is that we do more than just think about it. I think we need to develop a plan of attack
Right.
and a timeline,
Mhm.
and then hold ourselves, our feet
Accountable.
to the
Yes,
fire
you
to
darn
make
right.
sure it happens.
You darn right.
And if we go about this by saying, I think we should look at that the next time around, nothing's ever gonna get done. And that's what's happened, and that's what's put the town in the shape it's in,
That's right.
is that we've just put things off and kicked that can down the
Well,
road.
we've spent monies that we don't need to spend, like up on Minesburg Loop, right on the corner of the yield, that comes off of Minesburg onto School Street or onto the county road. Just south of the school building itself. We spent over $15,000 just on that little patch. $15,000 or more. Plus, when they did this, whatever it was they did on Carbon Street, because it's all popped and cracked and it's, you know, horrible. We've spent quite a bit of money on that to just fill those potholes.
And then it goes away,
And then it just erupts and the street looks worse than it ever did.
yeah.
Now, I know that I am pretty mouthy most of the time. I say what I think, I
Well,
don't
That's not a problem.
pretty it up. The boys out there on Carbon Street, 2 or 3 years ago when they were patching that, were very upset with me because they were standing on the corner. I walked out in my yard and I asked them if they actually knew what they were doing, which made them mad. I know how to fill a hole. I know how to fill a hole. And Mike says, well, if you're so smart, why don't you come out and do it? I would have gladly come out and shown them what they were doing wrong.
Well, I think the fix that we're proposing for carbon is a long-term fix. Does everybody agree?
Yes.
I agree.
And
That's what,
and
20-year
they,
fix?
yeah, they said that it would last at least 15 to 20 years before
So-
we had to do it
Okay.
Will
again.
it alter the cost by shortening it?
I don't see why not, they go by square
It
footage.
should.
Yeah,
That bid is in
Just
square
the final
feet.
cost.
right.
But
That-
I don't think we need to
from the highway
cross
to the first
Montana
stop
right
sign
now.
on
Montana's a
Montana,
good street,
That
don't
we could
mess it up.
save a little bit there and do carbon all the way to Mindsburg. And then next year, look at doing, West River, maybe you guys are gonna have to, go around and peruse those streets and see
Right.
what you think needs to
And
be.
Bill's got a good start on that, and I have too, and I'm sure you have,
Yeah.
Tim.
Yes,
I mean,
We all have.
we've all looked around,
Yeah.
and we all know where the major issues are.
right.
And those are the ones we should start on, and we shouldn't just say we should do it.
No,
Well,
I
We
think
should, we
they
should
better be
make
busy
a
and start.
resolution and a plan of attack
Right,
and a timeline and get it on the books. That way, next year, at this time, we're not sitting around thinking, is this the right thing to do?
right,
We've already got a
because
plan.
we've
Yes.
already got a plan, yes. So, Jerry,
You know, like when they dig all that black top up, like from Joliet, and just throw it away, can they use that for something?
well, a lot of companies, and the highway department does the same thing, or the contractors with the highway department. A Red Lodge does it, a lot of people do it. Is, if the company has a milling machine, they'll mill that pavement, and then they'll use it for something other than,
Just like what they did on Upper, out here between
Right.
Fromberg and Bridges. That when
Yeah.
they first did that, that was just stuff they tore off of
Right.
some other
and
road.
Was
both
it?
of these,
Yeah.
both of
Oh.
these companies that have put in bids have milling machines, and they can do that.
Wasn't that part of the deal on this? They were gonna go and they were gonna
I don't know that they can salvage anything off of
There
that
isn't
damn
any
road.
Off
Yeah.
of Carbon, I don't know, and even Missouri Street, they might
Well,
be
if we
able
could, if we
to.
run it in and tear it up and use that as a gravel base.
I don't know.
I
Don't
don't
know what
think,
you're gonna
I don't
have,
think
Jim.
we have much of a base left on Carbon Street,
There isn't going to be much salvageable in that for that.
not on
That's,
Carbon
that's,
Street.
that's old pavement, and I
Yeah.
don't think it was good pavement to start with.
No,
It
but
was
if we go, if
the
we go
town
through
was
the
made
mill,
by volunteer work in the sixties. And so it wasn't professionally done to start with.
Yeah.
No. But the road base is, the pavement that's there now is, if you go down there and you could, even if you just took a screwdriver, that pavement is so close to the road base, and the road base is not in good
Let's say
shape
there's
as it is,
nothing salvageable
not really.
of the.
So your question was, can we bring that in from another,
No, I'm
area,
just
or
wondering if
just
you
the
could
stuff
like
that we have
get
here?
some of that here, and like some of the pothole mat, mix that with something to
You-
fix
you
just
have to
a
have
little
something
potholes.
to Mix it with to soften it.
Yeah,
And they've dumped that somewhere already, some of it they
Did
just
they?
dumped across the bridge and,
in a pile?
Ian said they went across the bridge and the roads, they just kinda dumped it and spread it out and tried to
Mhm.
roll it, it's kinda.
Well, in the first place, the roller that we have cost us too much money, and it's too doggone big, it's too heavy for our
I
streets.
don't know what they did with the rotor mill over Joliet.
Okay, so we need to,
well, wasn't that part of the bid that he was gonna do? Wasn't he gonna go in and rotor mill the streets up and put a good street bed down and then put asphalt on top?
Yes,
yes,
yes.
He's making a street out of it.
Right.
So it's a-
Yes.
This is
Now, we
first
only
class.
have the two bids, we didn't get the third one?
no, we don't, and according to the state, we don't need three as long as it was advertised and it was
Well, according
online
to
and
the
everywhere else.
State, we don't,
Then
we
we,
would appreciate three on all future ones.
we
I
can,
agree.
we can ask for three,
I agree.
but actually, we don't need that, and case in point is the sale of the barley field. So this one is from Billings Asphalt. Have you guys had a chance to look at this thoroughly?
I have.
And from True North, I don't.
I think they're so close that it would come down to, do we know one of these guys over the other?
I don't know any of them.
You don't,
I
we've
just,
not
I
used
just
any
went
of them?
online and asked them to send us some bids. I did that
Okay.
with about 4 different companies. I did
I
True North,
know, I know Billings Asphalt, I don't know True North.
True North did all of the, I talked to Joliet, and Joliet contracted with True North for, what was it, Gordon, about 3 years in a row or 4? to fix the streets over in Joliet, and they did a darn good job, because I went over there and really actually looked at it
Yeah.
and watched some of the work they were doing. They also, True North also partners up, when they need it with, hard drives.
Okay, I
And-
know hard drives.
And I did have a bid from Hard Drives earlier, but we had not passed a resolution to set those monies aside at the time, so we didn't bring it up as a bid. Their bid for North Street, Carbon Street, Missouri Street, and several street cuts and fill and overlay in other areas was about $96,000, and I do have that somewhere at home. But that was for several streets
Yeah,
and
that's
not
hard to
just.
compare.
And like I said, the costs keep rising and rising and rising. I would like to see us get started and get something done before we get out of our range of
Well, I think we're gonna have this taken care of before the end of the meeting.
good. So,
And it isn't because we're pressured by any other outside
Exactly,
sources, but the
exactly.
fact that,
but we do need to look seriously at the infrastructure in this town, because that's the only way that we can do any promotion
I agree.
of our town.
I agree. I think the townspeople would agree.
Yes, I think so too. So you guys, it's up to you.
Well, I'd make a motion that we move ahead with the paving, but only up to the Montana, from
Montana to
Minesburg to
Minesburg.
Montana.
And we could probably adjust that depending on who you give the bid to. Then we can get a hold of them and have them come to a meeting and tell them what you guys are looking at.
And,
Now, which one had the guarantee? Was it True North?
Billings Asphalt.
Billings Asphalt?
Mhm. And they were like $100 less than True North, so it's really, the
It's
bids
really
are
not,
really, really
yeah.
close.
That's
I
a
mean, it's a wash, yeah.
I would go with the guarantee, Tim,
I would like the guarantee.
yeah.
I think that's a better deal. Since they're both so close, we get a little more for,
What kind of
Sorry.
guarantee is it? What's, what is it?
It's a term guarantee, isn't it?
For the work that they're doing.
Yeah. What was the,
it was a 1 year.
I think
one year
it's
guarantee
a
on it.
1 year, and then, there were some, crack and seal warranties, bonding, they're gonna spraying the weeds, exclusions, not specifically mentioned, legal fees, all permits and fees, bonding. Those are all, will be done by the Billings Asphalt, because they are bonded and licensed and insured.
yeah, 1 year.
So the rest of it, puddling and damages, anything like that, which is pretty
Standard.
standard for any company that comes in. A lot of companies, when they put in bids, will not even give you a warranty, so.
so we're looking at Billings Asphalt.
I think so.
So should I add that to the motion that we'll have Billings, to Billings Asphalt
Yeah.
to fix the road,
Carbon Street.
repavement from Carbon Street from
Montana,
Spur Loop to Montana Avenue.
Okay.
Okay, and then the other one I came across. Were we gonna do that on, what was that street, Yellowstone? The other one on Missouri Street?
That,
We'll have to do that
that's a
later.
later proposal. Right now, we're just going down with Carbon.
Just Carbon Street?
Mhm.
Okay, cause on their bid, then they have that they were gonna repair the street cut over here on First Street.
Right,
And isn't that the one in front of the park?
Yeah, but
it's the one by the park.
that's okay for right now. That's,
whose bid was that on, Tim?
that was
That's
on
True
True
North.
North.
Is that True North?
To
It
do
does-
the-
it doesn't
to-
show on
To
here.
do the street cuts.
That wasn't on Bailey's, so that'd make Bailey 2,000 higher unless Bailey's bidding the same project.
Let's see. From, Carbon,
It's not referenced.
says remove, from Carbon Street from Missouri to highway repair, material, base material paved back, new 3-inch thick asphalt. prepare 660 square feet of road that was dug up by the park on the corner of East River and First Avenue, paved back with 3-inch thick asphalt.
That's the patch.
Mill 2, no, because the First Avenue is
That's the
the
patch.
street cut.
That's the patch over here,
By the park.
Prairie Park.
Right, it's where our water break was.
Yeah,
That's what
the
they're going to
patch.
do, yeah.
But
That's not included in this one.
that's not
In
And
included.
the
then
Billings asphalt.
they'll mill 2 feet wide, cut over the settlement on the corner of West River and Missouri and pave back with 3-inch thick asphalt. That's the street cut on Missouri and West River, and the street cut on Ace,
we're
or on
saying-
First Street, that's, and Carbon.
What we're saying is that 660 foot of road that was dug up, that's on True North's bid, does not show on Bailey's bid.
Right.
No, it doesn't.
So True North's actually giving us more for our money.
True North would be
For
$2,000.
just, for the highway, the Carbon Street, the
Yeah.
12,300 square feet of Carbon Street to mill and do that was 38,130, and Billings asphalt was pretty much 42,560
For just carbon,
Just Carbon.
for just carbon.
yeah. So this
I don't
looks
know
like
what's the
a
additional
better deal
paving
if we can
includes
get them to
patching
give us a
3
1-year
areas.
warranty.
Yeah,
That's a
Mhm.
good
They
idea.
do have this
That's a
on,
good way to
here,
go.
this, additional paving includes patching 3 areas approximately 1,000 square feet. Is that the
The
same?
street cuts, yeah, that's the same thing, the street cuts, on First Street, West River, and,
So-
the patch
so
there
they
by the
are-
lagoons.
yeah,
So
you're
it
right.
is in the bid, Dave.
It is in there, yeah.
They have a,
3 areas approximately
so
1,000.
it is.
Oh, is
in
it?
the bid.
Yes.
Oh, okay,
So Bailey's still the cheapest.
okay.
Okay.
Anyhow, that's how the motion stands.
Which one, True North?
Billings
Yeah.
asphalt.
Oh,
Billings
It's
asphalt.
Billings asphalt,
So are we still doing from the highway up? or-
No.
No,
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 We're doing from
Montana.
Montana
Montana
up
Spur to
to,
Montana.
So this bid will be less than this once we negotiate
And the
that.
patch in front of, at the park,
Gotcha.
and the patch on
Across from,
East River.
East River, First Street on the park where we had the water break, and West River Street cut up here on the corner of Missouri and West River. Because that street cut was made about 5 years ago when it was never backfilled right
Yeah.
or overlaid.
We're
It was
talking that thin strip right up here?
By
Yeah,
the
okay,
fire
so-
hydrant, yeah. And then anything else, they said that they would kind of look at and give us but if we can get Jeremy to get some emulsion, and he's pretty much familiar with some of that stuff, we
Yep.
can fill some more potholes before it gets
Yeah.
Yeah,
cold.
we can do like the bridge deck up there and all that stuff.
Yeah, and the couple of potholes that are on my.
so bringing you up to speed, Bill has made a motion to
To
accept
accept
Billings
Billings
asphalt with the amended distance
Mhm.
and leaving out the spot from Montana Avenue to the highway.
Gotcha,
And we'll have the bid
gotcha.
revised
So,
to show that.
right,
Okay.
so the motion is to accept Billings asphalt from and adjust the bid, or adjust the work order to, from Montana Avenue to the corner of, up by Minesburg Loop
Okay,
on Carbon, to do the street cuts and the
That's,
street cut on East River.
that's this street. Okay.
And Bill's been busy,
right,
right here,
gotcha.
from there up through the other.
Yeah.
up through Minesburg, yeah.
Gotcha.
And then we wanted to start some planning meetings so we can look at some future work
Mhm.
down the road and discuss that, so.
Yeah,
I
Get
have
some
a-
priorities
okay.
down and
Yes.
in writing and
Right. And make a plan,
timelines.
yeah.
yeah, wait till kind of for spring coming up with
Yeah.
what the school
Right.
comes up with.
And we can get bids before the warm weather starts, so that we already
We
have
have-
those in place, and we know they're gonna start work as soon as the snow melts and we
Good.
get, it's warm enough to do that. So I have a motion to
I will second that motion.
to accept Bailey, Billings asphalt, bid, and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
And the motion is passed.
Everybody I talk to said
And this
it's pretty
meeting,
both in
this
the-
special
Well,
meeting
Very,
is
very well
adjourned.
with these guys and
Yeah.
everybody else.
I
The
agree.
same thing before we.
I agree, I don't know
We
these
can
guys, I'm sure they're
Try to
good,
set up
But
but I
a
know these
planning
guys are
meeting.
good.
Right.
Okay,
and
now do you guys wanna set up times for planning meetings? We should have one at least once a month, other than the council meeting.
Wouldn't hurt to be able
And
to at least get.
do we
these
wanna
out.
do that tonight, or do we want to,
Let's
wait
plan
and
on
see
that
what
for the
schedules
regular
are?
meeting.
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah,
set
let's-
something special just for the planning.
it's not gonna be
Whatever.
a special meeting, it'll just be
No,
a
just-
workshop.
Be a workshop.
open to the public.
Right, everything's open to the public,
Sure.
except for executive sessions.
Sure, do we have a motion to adjourn by first or second?
In just a second, they're looking at this planning session, so do we want to, set a planning workshop for another date?
Let's set one at the next regular meeting and take a little break from special meetings here.
Mhm.
You want it after the
week.
next council meeting?
Right.
So you want us to set a date at the next council
Council
meeting
meeting, yeah.
for planning?
Okay,
So we'll
Yeah,
have that on
before,
the agenda.
I'd say probably before, huh, rather than after, cause otherwise it might get, or should we go after, cause it'll benefit you getting back
Yeah, I would think after.
after, gotcha.
yeah, I think that's a good idea too. It's gonna be busy, so do we have a motion to set the date for the planning meeting after
I'll make
the regular council meeting?
I'll make the motion.
And I'll second.
Okay, so I have a motion and a second to set the date after the council meeting to be specified at the council meeting. We'll put that on the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion has passed. Do I have a motion to adjourn the special meeting?
I make a motion, we adjourn the special meeting.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. And we're on to the budget workshop.
Excuse me.
This was in your box with everybody else's stuff.
Gotcha.
Not for this meeting.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, we just need to look those over. I am, looking at, if we do decide to hire someone part-time, I would like to look at someone that has some
When was the
experience
water
and
bill?
background in community and things like that until we decide.
So another part-time, or we get everybody?
No, no.
Oh,
And
Definitely
definitely
not
not.
paying.
I'd like to see
I have
Jeremy
never
want
worked.
to make it full.
I would love to see him.
Yeah, that's trying to push me into that too, I think he's just nervous that if it's gonna be like guaranteed type thing, I think that's where he's kinda in limbo right now.
He's just gonna have raises.
So what do we need to do to make,
Sorry,
to convince him that, if,
I'm pretty sure
people are
that
just
should
paying
be
for what
pretty
they.
much here.
Oh, so
Right.
what's this at?
Yeah, I think he just doesn't wanna put all his eggs in one basket if he's not 100%, so.
maybe what we,
We could have another planning meeting or special
can we
meeting or
use
something.
a
You
planning
know,
meeting
but
or?
I was
Yeah,
looking
yeah.
for him to kind of ease
Executive.
into it and get
Yeah,
used to
definitely.
the different things like that, but, yeah, he could.
Would that